Hey everyone! Today we're jumping into a really special poem by the one and only Pablo Neruda. It's called Keeping Quiet, and it all kicks off with this simple, almost tiny request that, if we actually did it, could literally change the world. So, right off the bat, the poem hits you with this huge idea. A thought experiment, really. What would actually happen if everyone, and I mean everyone, everywhere, all at the same time, just stopped? No talking, no moving, just complete and total silence. Can you even imagine? And Neruda gives us a very specific instruction for this. He says, now we will count to 12. Not 10, not 50, just 12. It has this feeling of a solemn countdown, right? Like we're all about to take part in some kind of sacred global meditation. So why 12? Well, that number is packed with meaning. Think about it. You've got 12 hours on a clock, 12 months in a year. It represents a whole cycle of time. So by asking us to count to 12, he's not just picking a random number, he's calling for a complete pause, a universal moment that brings us all together. Okay, so what happens if we actually listen? What happens when we count to 12 and just stop? Well, Neruda believes it creates something he calls an exotic moment. Now, why exotic? Because in our crazy, nonstop, noisy world, a moment like this is unbelievably rare. It's a moment of pure unity. For just a few seconds, there'd be no language barriers, no engines roaring, no machines humming. We'd all be connected in this sudden stillness, and that stillness would break the cycle, the nonstop momentum of all our destructive habits. And that really gets us to the heart of the poem. I mean, this isn't just about being quiet for the fun of it. Neruda's digging at something way, way deeper. So what's the real goal here? What's the point of this global timeout? Well, the whole purpose is introspection. It's about finally getting a chance to stop all our outward actions so we can look inward, to actually see the consequences of what we do, not just to the world around us, but to ourselves too. Neruda gives us these two perfect little snapshots to explain this. In that moment of quiet, the fisherman in the cold sea would stop, and he wouldn't harm the whales. He'd have a second to think. And at the same time, the man gathering salt, working so hard, would finally stop and look down at his own hurt hands, a powerful symbol for all the ways we hurt ourselves in our daily grind without ever noticing. So you see, that's the whole idea. This stillness forces us to get off autopilot. It creates that bit of mental space we so desperately need to reflect on what we're doing and finally recognize the damage we're causing, both outside and in. And from this very personal, individual reflection, Neruda then zooms way out. He takes this idea and applies it to the biggest, most destructive collective act of all, war. I mean, what a powerful image, right? Neruda imagines that the people preparing for war, the scientists making chemical weapons, the soldiers getting ready for battle, they would all just pause. And in that pause, they'd take off their uniforms, shed their identities as enemies, and put on clean clothes. They just walk together, as people, as brothers. This is really Neruda's ultimate plea. The poem is, at its core, a profound statement against war. That one moment of shared quiet becomes this incredible opportunity to stop all violence, to finally see the humanity in the people we call our enemies, and to replace all that conflict with just a quiet, shared existence. Now, Neruda's a smart guy. He knows that some people might hear this call for total stillness and get the wrong idea. He anticipates that it could be confused with something much, much darker. So he makes a really important clarification. He says it so clearly. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. He wants no truck with death. The stillness he's talking about isn't the final empty silence of death. Not at all. It's a productive, conscious, life-affirming pause. It's a moment we take to reevaluate how we're actually living. So let's be super clear on this. The goal here isn't to stop life in its tracks. The goal is to interrupt our mindless, destructive momentum so that we can finally truly understand life and maybe find a better way to live it. Together. And that's where Neruda leaves us. He brings this enormous, global idea all the way back down to you and me. The poem started with a call to the entire world, but it ends with a very personal challenge. In this world that never, ever stops, a world that is always demanding something from you,
What could you discover in just 12 seconds of perfect, intentional silence?